Hey Scott, you get the derpy hat and Ray gets the...
What do you mean derpy? I love that hat.
Can I wear your grey hat?
Yeah, go for it.
Or the gondola hat?
There you go. Great.
Yeah?
Perfect. Suits you.
Thanks. Oh,
Yep.
you do have a big head.
Scott Brown here. It's time to finish this deck up and then get inside. We've got a lot of work to do inside the house. We are having friends come and stay with us, friends that have stayed with us before. They haven't been on the channel or anything, but they're good friends of ours. And the last time they were here was about a year ago. And we didn't have a deck, we didn't have French doors, we had that problem room there, we had no double glazing. There's been some changes. We've got a heat pump now. We've just got to finish a few things. This is a 6x2 for this bottom stair. So this goes over here like this, and it's going to have a negative detail here to separate it like a little island. So I'll cut another one. So we need to drop that in there. We've got some borders to finish. But yeah, we're almost ready to go back inside. Now this episode is kind of dedicated to those of you who live in America, my American viewers. And that's because I am doing my foundation differently to how we used to. Doing it the American way, with the steel brackets in the ground, with the timber separated from the ground. So here in New Zealand we have treated timbers, and they're treated with the H class, like H1, H2, H3, up to like, I think H6 is the highest. Stands for hazard. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that. So hazard class. This stuff here is H3.2. The stuff we use inside is H1.2. And the stuff we put in the ground is H5. You can also put H4 in the ground, but this H3.2 here, well, you can't put this in the ground. So the posts that we've put in the ground here are H5. That's fine because it's rated to a higher hazard class. So this stuff here is CCA treated timber, copper, chrome, arsenic, and those combination of things allows the timber to survive harsher conditions. So the H6, for example, that can go into seawater. That's what they make wharfs out of. But the interesting thing is, back in 2003, in America, in 2003, I'm just going to read this straight off Wikipedia, the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the lumber industry agreed to discontinue the use of CCA treated wood in most residential construction. This agreement was intended to protect the health of humans and the environment by reducing exposure to the arsenic in CCA treated wood. As a result of this decision, CCA treated wood can no longer be used to construct residential structures such as playground equipment, decks, picnic tables, landscaping features, fences, patios and walkways. And here in New Zealand we did not do that. In fact, in the same Wikipedia page, in 2003, the same year, the Environmental Risk Management Authority in New Zealand decided to not restrict CCA use for any applications, but notes that few well-designed studies have been carried out of those using CCA or CCA treated timber. So the short of it is, in America, you guys banned this stuff for what we're doing. In New Zealand, we didn't. So we continue to use it, we continue to put stuff in the ground, we continue to work with this questionably hazardous material. Therefore, we don't rely on brackets. Now, there are other timber treatment options here that are slightly safer, such as ACQ. The issue with that, it only goes up to H3.2. Like I said before, that's what we frame the deck out of, but we can't put that in the ground. There's also heat-treated timbers, so pine that has been treated to change the timber at a molecular level and make it withstand the elements. But again, you can't put that into the ground. That only goes up to the H3.2 hazard class. So then the other option is to get brackets like this. This bracket on the shelf, it was about $40. And they had another option that had a welded sort of plate that I preferred because it would have held my step up like that and I wouldn't be relying on the bolts as much. That was like $100 for one bracket and I needed 4. So I got the cheaper one and I'm gonna, make sure the bolts are sweet. There is another option, and I'll end at this one, we won't talk about this for too long, is ground screws, which is essentially a big galvanized steel screw, literally a screw that goes into the ground, and then you bolt your timber onto that screw and you don't have to dig. So I'm curious about that one. I'd like to try that one of these days. But that is the long and short of why we put timber in the ground and you guys don't as often. And it's funny to think, I started building in 2004. So if they had gone ahead and done what America had done in 2003, I could have done my whole building career without this toxic treated timber. Alright, holes dug. Step in the approximate place. Temporary props. Going to be a temporary fixing, so we have the freedom once the concrete's set to get this step perfect. A real builder's curtain here. Okay, looks like the concrete is set nicely. Time to put the decking on it. Thank you, Ray.
The board along the house you leave off for now.
I'll probably put 2 bits in either side of the internet cable. Thank you very much, sir.
Geen dank.
Dank je
Wel.
wel.
Dankjewel.
Dank je wel. Dank je wel.
Another Dutch word that Scott learned today. Gummetje.
Oh man, I didn't learn that. I heard it.
You heard it.
How do I say it again?
Gummetje.
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 Gummetje. Got quite far to go. I've just got to put that border piece down by the house there, and you probably would have noticed by now the conduit that goes down that wall. That holds the fiber internet. Now the problem with the fiber internet is that it's suspended over the top of the deck. That's what that low cable is. When we didn't have the deck here, it wasn't really a problem because it was at least another 700 millimeters above our head. But now that we have the deck here, it's very close. So we need to move it, is what I'm trying to say. We need to get rid of it. So we had the guys from Chorus come around. They provide the fiber internet up to the houses. So what they need is a trench from the power pole that's outside underground under the driveway, and it needs to be fairly deep, and then they need to connect up to where we are. Now we had the presence of mind to put a conduit under this deck so we can feed the cable under the house. We're waiting on Chorus to come back to us with a quote to run that, but until we figure that out we have to leave that little bit of decking off. So I'm hoping that what I've got left is enough to finish the job. Got to go around the perimeter at least once and do those borders. Alright. Another benefit of these borders is that when it comes time to paint these walls, all we have to do is unscrew the border, and then we don't have to worry about getting paint on all these decking boards here because they're 130 mil short. And the same is true here. We can take that off, paint down. A thing of beauty.
chicken?
Yeah, how do you keep veggies and chickens at the same time?
You don't, it's a choice. Do we keep chickens and veggies at the same time? They just attack everything, don't they?
They do, and then I shoot them. Then I shoot them with the water gun.
You shoot the chickens with the
Get
water?
out of my garden.
Sounds violent. She means squirt. We don't shoot.
Oh, I don't.
Don't shoot your chickens, kids. So you're staining your deck today?
I'm just staining the edges
Yes.
and the joins
Oh yes.
because you can't really get to them later on. But I've actually been given advice, this is mildly interesting, that we should wait 6 months before we stain them.
Why
Stain
is
the
that?
deck. Well, the only thing I can think of is that you need to let the tannins run out, all the oils that are naturally in the timber. And then maybe it takes 6 months to do that, and then the oil will go into it properly.
Ooh.
But it's quite different from this time last year when you guys were here.
Definitely different. Yeah, we were right there barbecuing.
Yeah.
There was wild tomatoes growing out of the side of the house.
Jess likes to call them volunteer tomatoes. There she is.
Now the question is planting.
Yeah, what are we going to plant down the sides?
Obviously all along here. Like artichokes or something could be, because those artichokes, they have not thrived there. I mean, imagine some like blooming artichokes along here, and then we could just come down and rip the heads off and eat them.
And go back into your kitchen.
First time I ate an artichoke, I didn't know how to eat it, and it was painful.
What are you supposed to do? Like cut the...
You're supposed to like suck it off.
We've had one.
What were you saying, Julie? Don't worry, I won't include it.
We're really enjoying having our friends here.
Thanks, Jess.
Guess what? This is the last piece of decking. Can you believe it? Oh, these deck builds always start off and you think, yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, and then 1 week goes by, another week goes by, especially when you're trying to get these details accurate, as accurate as I am. But no, I'm happy. I don't want to be looking at this deck in years to come and thinking, oh, I should have spent more time on that corner, or should have put more effort lining those screws up. Get it right the first time. And you know what you can get right the first time? The building of your website with Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform where you can build your online presence and run your business. Website building templates, online analytics, they take all the hard parts about making a website out and just leave the easy parts. You can even build your own custom domain name via Squarespace. Jess and I found Squarespace before they sponsored the channel, and what we really liked about it was how easy it was to make good-looking portfolios and galleries, and we needed that for our building business. We needed to show the beautiful work that we'd done in the past, so our clients knew that we could do something similar for them. And even if you've already met a client in person, clients will look you up on the internet, so it is important to have some online presence. So if you do need a website for your services or products, Squarespace is perfect. But do not take my word for it. They also offer a free trial, so you have nothing to lose. And then, once you're ready to launch your website, head over to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode and helping pay for this beautiful deck, which is finished.